Shalom, shalom, shalom. I just wanted to get that groove coming in. You know what it's like when you Saturday morning. Shout out to Bang Energy, doing it, giving your brother that great energy that I need to put videos together, to do good content, to bring the truth home. I am currently live on YouTube and on Facebook. My fans page is under construction right now, so I'm broadcasting on Facebook Live on my channel, on my page actually. I'm just blessed and honored to be here with y'all on this Shabbat Saturday. I just want to say that I give thanks to the Most High, Yeshua HaMashiach, for everything and all things, to be able to have a platform that just hit over 40,000 subscribers. This is very therapeutic for me, bringing the truth home, putting the truth in proper perspective. And for those that chime in, please in the comment section, put a number 1 in the air for your boy. And if you're on Facebook Live, please do the same. Put a number 1 in the chat, like the video, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Well, yesterday was Valentine's Day. I know a large number of people waiting for me to break this down. The Valentine's Day deception. Well, we're going to talk about it. Shout out to Truth Unedited. Go to the brother's channel, show him some love. And shout out to my brother, I Am. Go to his channel, show him some love. He's in the comment section. Hey, that's my brother, that's my heart, he's my all. He's doing great things. All right? Don't sleep on him. But without further ado, grab your shoulder pads and your helmet, and let's get this work. Let's go.
I will give you the background history of traditions that many of us blindly accept without really understanding. One of these traditions is Valentine's Day. For most people today, Valentine's Day is just regarded as a secular commercial day of love, a date where people show their significant other that they love them because someone else did a long time ago, and it just grew in acceptance over time. Basically, because days like Valentine's Day just show up on our calendar and the retail big businesses start marketing to us, we just accept this day and look at it as harmless and partake in it. I mean, Valentine's Day is a huge day for business. It is estimated that in America alone, the country as a whole spends an average of $18.5 billion on Valentine's Day every year. But if you ask people why, you would most likely receive silence as an answer. Everyone knows that we celebrate love on Valentine's Day, but most people don't know exactly why we do and why it's even called Valentine's Day. So I think that's something that we should correct. Let's examine it. Let's begin. So where did Valentine's Day come from? Many people think that it's just one of those American holidays that we just partake in. It's just something that we as Americans do. But the celebration of Valentine's Day is not American.
As we can see, I'm letting them talk. I'm going to be letting them talk a little bit longer on this one because we really need to understand this. We really need to dive in deep so that we can have a better understanding and overstanding of the origin of Valentine's Day, what you're worshiping, what you're conjuring up that most don't know. And this is where I have to really stress and voice to a large number of preachers and so forth, spiritual leaders that stand behind the pulpit and continuously lie to the people instead of telling them the truth. We have to tell the truth. If we're going to sit up there and call ourselves followers or teachers of the Torah, then we have to continue to do that. We have to stand on it and not deceive the people, but help the people, be a blessing to the people. Bless up.
Others like to believe that it is a Christian holiday because it was named after a Christian saint, by the Roman Catholic Church. But the truth is that Valentine's Day was made by the Roman Catholic Church to Christianize the pagan celebration of Lupercalia. Lupercalia was one of the most ancient Roman festivals, which was celebrated every year in honor of Lupercus, the god of fertility, also known as the god Faunus. This festival, which celebrated the coming of spring, included fertility rites, orgies, fornication, sex with minors, drunkenness, and other activities like the pairing off of women with men by lottery. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, as well as to the founders of Rome, Romulus and Remus. During this time, the winter solstice is long gone, and the pagans are now seeing that the days are getting gradually longer. This was one of the most important fertility festivals for pagans. The festival was held on the 15th of February in the Lupercal, where Romulus and Remus were said to have been nurtured by the she-wolf. The place contained an altar and a grove sacred to the god Lupercus. In Lupercal, the Luperci, who were the priests, assembled on the day of Lupercalia and sacrificed goats and dogs. These animals were known for their strong sexual instinct, making them most appropriate sacrifices to the god of fertility.
So when you look at it and you take it into retro time and you're looking into modern time, have you noticed a lot of these things from these animals have been injected into us that we don't even know? Certain animals give us energy. Paraphrasing, y'all can figure that. Y'all can understand where I'm going with that. And so forth. The more we learn, the more we dive in deep into history, into the word, then we will begin to see. The more we begin to learn, it's almost like, how come we was never taught this? How come this was never shared? Most know, but when you're standing behind a pulpit, it's like you're taking an oath. It's almost like you can say some things, but you can't say everything, if that makes sense. And it leaves a large number of individuals confused. Now you understand why most have been misled. So when we talk about these pagan holidays, you say, how come nobody isn't saying anything? Because they know. And most don't like the fact that you know. Let's continue.
Then the Luperci cut thongs from the skins of the sacrificial animals and ran in two bands around the Palatine Hill. They would whip any women who came near them. A blow from the thong was supposed to make a woman fertile. It's said that young women would actually line up for the men to hit them. Now, if you just dig a little deeper, you can understand further what is being celebrated. Lupercalia is believed to be connected to the ancient Greek festival of Arcadian Lycaea and the worship of Pan. Lupercalia is the Roman form of worship of the Greek god Pan. Pan can be traced to the sun god Baal. He is the horn god. And we know Baal is none other than Nimrod. Nimrod was the original Lupercus. The Lupercalia, the festival of the Romans, held during the time we know today as Valentine's Day, was a festival to honor Nimrod, just in this Roman form. This is paganism. In ancient pagan Rome, the month of February was sacred to Juno Februata, the goddess of the fever of love. Juno Februata was also the goddess of women and of marriage. February 14th was her festival day. A box was provided from which single men could draw a billet, a small piece of paper on which a woman's name was written. The couple would then form a temporary liaison for the erotic games to follow. Sometimes they would remain partners for the following 12 months. Marriage sometimes resulted from this practice. So these days were used to celebrate fertility in ancient pagan Rome. It was a pagan festival day that goes back to the honoring of Nimrod. This was what happened during this time in ancient history.
So now we're getting somewhere. Now it's starting to make sense to you. Again, when we're talking about truth, and we're talking about why isn't this being talked about or shared, a large number of individuals have been brainwashed. Hey, I used to be one of them. But it wasn't until I made an executive decision, a choice, to unlearn what I have learned. When I saw that certain things didn't sit well within my spirit, and those that know me know, if I don't know something, I'm going to research it. And the more I begin to research, the more I begin to break bread with brothers and sisters that knew this knowledge. Granted, my dad taught us all of this. Okay? But even then, as my dad taught all of us, my brothers and my sisters, this, we had tendencies to do what we wanted to do. We had tendencies to follow the crowd, partake in things, even though we didn't have the true understanding of what we were partaking in. We just wanted to do it because everybody else was doing it.
So where did the name Valentine's Day come from? Valentine's Day is said to be named after a few Christian martyrs who the Roman Catholic Church named saints. According to one story, Roman Emperor Claudius II imposed a ban on marriages because too many young men were dodging the draft by getting married. At that time, only single men had to enter the army. There was a Roman physician and priest who had converted to Christianity when it was a persecuted religion. His name was Valentinus of Terni, and according to some of the stories, he used to marry Christian couples in secret. It was said he wore a ring with a cupid on it, which is used as a symbol of love. We'll cover that soon. The ring helped soldiers recognize him. When he was exposed, he was imprisoned, tortured, and beheaded. Later, he became a martyr and the patron saint of true love in marriages. While awaiting execution, he was visited by young lovers with notes about how much better love is than war. Some think of these love letters as the first Valentines. Valentinus' execution occurred on February 14th in the year 269. Later on, after Rome adopted Christianity and the Roman Empire fell, and the Holy Roman Empire began, the Roman Catholic Church made changes. The church was opposed to this display of open eroticism and sensuality that occurred during Lupercalia. In the 5th century, Pope Gelasius declared February 14th a holy day in honor of Valentinus, instead of the pagan god Lupercus. As with most non-biblical customs found in the church today, Lupercalia was simply given a Christian-sounding name and adopted into the Universal Catholic Church. They adopted some of the pagan celebrations during Lupercalia to reflect Christian beliefs. For example, as part of the Juno Feborata ritual, instead of pulling girls' names from boxes, both boys and girls chose the names of martyred saints from a box. They were expected to emulate the life of the saint whose name they had drawn. And this is where we get Valentine's Day from. It was a rebranding of a pagan festival worshiping fertility. They did this to make it easy on the pagan converts who were coming into their new popular Christianity. These pagans were unwilling to give up their satanic pagan rituals. So instead of putting...
And that's the thing there. They did not want to. Once you've been exposed to something, to doing something, it's kind of hard to stop. Certain things become second nature. And we all gonna tie in, and it's gonna find its way. I'm letting the brother talk. I'm letting the brother cook, because we have to have an understanding. We have to get down to it and know why a large number of individuals are worshiping something, not knowing what they're worshiping, giving it a name and saying it's okay when it is not okay. You hear people say every day, all day, I don't worship the devil. I don't worship evil spirits. I don't worship all of that. Yeah, you do. Because these pagan holidays, these holidays, look at what you're doing. Look at what you're worshiping. Look at what you're conjuring up. Do you not know? Some do know, but still choose to do it anyway. That's a problem.
Putting a halt to the growing paganism of the church, the Romans took the approach of blend and incorporate. But changing the name of a pagan ritual doesn't change the fact that it is still a pagan ritual. So this is where Valentine's Day comes from. It is completely pagan. During the Middle Ages, it began to be incorporated with love. And that's where much of what we know of it today comes from. But let's look at some of the symbols that are used today with Valentine's Day. The red rose. You think this flower was just chosen because it is beautiful? Not at all. Venus was the Roman goddess of beauty, love, fertility, and sexual immorality, such as prostitution. She was the Roman equivalent to the Greek goddess Aphrodite. Venus is the mother of Cupid. Her favorite flower was the red rose, which then associated the red rose with love. Because Valentine's Day became associated with love, in honor of the pagan goddess Venus, or Aphrodite, the goddess of love, red roses became synonymous with Valentine's Day. Just remember, if you look up most customs of today, you will often find a pagan god in connection with it. Does this mean it's pagan to love a red rose? Obviously not, but you should know why it is connected with Valentine's Day.
You should understand and know why you do what you do. Why individuals do what they do. And the more you know of these things, the more it makes sense. I'm not going to keep y'all long, but I'm making a point here that you have to know the origin of things. Like I said, I believe in being truthful with y'all. I believe in bringing the truth to light. A large number of individuals are walking in darkness. Yeah, they look human. Yeah, they seem pure. But a large number of individuals are lost and they brainwashed. And they so accustomed to doing something that they've been doing for so long that became second nature to them. So the moment you hit someone with the truth and say, yo, this is what this is. Here, take a look, my brother, my sister. Here come the backlash. And I know I'm going to get some backlash, but so what? The truth is to be told, not sold. Run it.
Buying red roses for your loved one does not make you a pagan. I want to make that clear. Cupid. Most people don't know this because he's often portrayed as a little baby boy. But Cupid is a pagan god. Like I said earlier, his mother was the goddess Venus. He is a counterpart of the Greek god Eros. According to the myth, Cupid was the son of Mercury and Venus. Mercury being the winged messenger of the gods, and Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. Cupid often appeared as a winged infant carrying a bow and a quiver of arrows. Legend has it that Cupid shoots magical gold-tipped arrows at both gods and humans. By piercing their heart with an arrow, he causes individuals to fall deeply in love. This is why you always see a heart with an arrow. It's a representation of the pagan god Cupid. He is portrayed today as a little cute, chubby cherub with a bow and arrow, ready to shoot people and affect them with pangs of love. But he is an ancient pagan god. He is not just a little cute baby with an arrow. When you reference anything with him, you are participating in pagan beliefs. This is why he is associated with Valentine's Day, because it is a pagan holiday. Now, just the lustful nature of Valentine's Day as a whole is according to the pagan ritual of fertility. This is the time where people would gather their lovers for the year. This is not a day to get caught up in. Everything surrounding this day is pagan. It was then rebranded as a Christian holiday, and today it is looked at as secular. But
Like I said, I'm bringing it to you. I prayed about this and asking Yahshua how to deliver this in a way that my viewers are going to understand. My viewers are going to get it. Again, I was once like a large number of individuals walking around this universe lost. But it wasn't until I made an executive decision again to unlearn what I have learned. And now, unlocking these truths and sharing these truths, I got a lot of word in me. Don't sweat the technique. Okay? Looks can be deceiving. However, when an individual is standing behind that pulpit, it is their responsibility to deliver the truth. Instead, they choose to deceive the people. They know, but they don't say, they don't share, they don't teach. But when someone comes with questions, someone comes with a discomfort within their spirit, within their inner self, that something isn't right, and they share it, and they get shamed for sharing. They get shamed because what they've been partaking in doesn't feel right. It don't seem right because it isn't right. And a large number of these preachers out here need to be ashamed of their darn self, lying to these people, taking their money. When you got souls out there, when you got people that are in need, when you got people that are spiritually sick and need spiritual food because they're spiritually hungry and tired of the rhythm of roll. Tired of the old bait and switch. Tired of the old turning of the heads. Tired of how dare you ask me a realistic, serious question that forces me to give you a correct spiritual logic answer.
is not so. Anytime you have holidays that are connected with pagan gods, if you are a believer in Yahshua, you must completely abstain from them. Today, it is marketed as a day of love, but it is completely, again, a pagan holiday. Many of its customs and practices have changed and evolved over time. But at the heart, it's all about pagans and their gods, a way of celebrating them. It goes back to Nimrod. It's very easy to get lost in the crowd and just partake in it because that's what the majority is doing. Because they make it seem as if it's secular and does not have any deity attached to it. It's just about love and fun. But a simple understanding of Cupid clearly shows that that's not true. For a believer in Yahshua, we are called to be set apart from the world, not following the crowd. We are not to be of this world. Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 2 says, "Do not learn the way of the Gentiles. We are to learn the ways of our Father." We should not follow pagan activities just because the world makes it easier for us to do so.
And didn't Yeshua say it in his word too? He said, there's going to come a time where people are going to reject the truth and believe the lie. You know it's a lie. You know it's wrong. But you partake anyway. You do anyway. Shame on you. You see? Read my word for yourself. Stop listening to what man say. So when man say Valentine's Day is good, Easter is good, Christmas is good, Thanksgiving is good, Halloween is good, 4th of July is good. All these 6 major holidays and more. I'm in the zone right now. but you know that it is wrong and you do it anyway. You think Yeshua don't see you? You think he don't know? He knows. He sees everything you're doing. Well, it's not about the holidays. I'm just into the gathering and the food and all that. You're still partaking in it. But when it comes to a person's birthday, celebrating their day of birth, their day of life in this world, that don't get as much praise as them holidays do. Father's Day, Mother's Day. You better wake up, people. My brothers and sisters, you better wake up. It's coming. Times is here. What is written for a reason. And everything that is in the Torah, we see it play out. With our president, and this is only February, with everything else, we seeing it play out. You better wake up. Stop playing. You play too much.
The Apostle Paul tells us in Colossians chapter 2, verse 8, see to it that no one makes a prey of you through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the elementary matters of the world, and not according to Messiah. We must protect ourselves from the ways of this world. Valentine's Day is not a major day, but it still is a pagan holiday. It's easy to overlook. Listen, if you want to set aside a day to tell your husband or wife that you love them, pick another day and time to do this. You do not need to celebrate with the world. If the world tells you that February 14th is the day you are required to show your wife or your husband how you love them, make sure you don't. Remember, you are not of this world. It is a pagan holiday, and as we are all trying to strengthen our relationship with the Father, when we remove our association with these practices, we will see our relationships grow. I made this video to briefly clear it up for those that were not really sure about Valentine's Day. I want you to clearly know it is rooted in paganism.
And not only that, and as I close, because like I said, I'm not going to keep y'all long. I just wanted to dive into this thing here, the Valentine's Day deception. Each and every day, you show your love for each other. Not just one day out the year. That's an everyday showing of love and gratitude, respect. Okay? But yet, we live in this world where you have to do what everybody else is doing. You have to follow what everybody else is following. And that's not the case. We better than that. Like it said in the Torah, Kodashim, the set apart ones, we have to be set apart. We cannot partake in the things of this world because the things in this world is not healthy. The things in this world are evil and deceitful and wicked. The things in this world holds no value. Our relationship should be with our Abba Father, our Elohim. It's not about religion, it's about relationship. Got to set apart from that. Large number of individuals make it about religion. And look where it's gotten you. But when it comes to relationship, that's hard for some to do. Or when they have questions about it, they get brushed off or turned away. Some get even persecuted. So you tell me, for real, tell me. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. Nothing's to discourage you. You do what you do. My thing is bringing the truth to you and sharing it. I told you I was going to do it, and I did it. So, to all my people, continue to be blessed. Let this let this right here ride us out and take us home.